Namaskar to everyone on board, and pleasure and delight for me, your host, Vimi Chaudhary, to be extending greetings to all present on behalf of the Indian Achievers Forum and welcoming all of you to yet another virtual summit, which is part of our dialogue series, wherein we have been covering various topics and aspects of the Indian economy, the policies, the programs which are of the government, which are impacting our Indian economy. And ladies and gentlemen, as you know, Indian Achievers Forum is a multi-dimensional platform, which today is not only the voice of the industry, it has been inviting diverse views, but it has also been a platform towards knowledge exchange, towards collaborations, towards partnerships, with the core belief that together we can be a formidable voice and we can make an impact towards shaping a vibrant and a robust economy. So, once again, with this very core thought and impact, we are back with the topic, which, in fact, if you see, is a clarion call by our Honorable Prime Minister. And it is also the need of the hour. For if you see, for long, we Indians have been influenced, we have, in fact, depended more on the Western world, so much so that we have lost taking pride in whatever was or whatever is made in India. So, our topic of our discussion, which we have, is the government's program Atmanirbhar Bharat. And it has a special focus on the role of women in shaping a self reliant India. Further, as all you learned people are aware, Atmanirbhar Bharat is a program which was conceived, which was conceptualized with an idea, with an aim towards making India self sufficient and self dependent in all aspects. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we have the Women Achievers Award, and the very first award being conferred on Ms. Narinder Kaur, the founder of the Women Power Unleashed, a dynamic Delhi based entrepreneur. She is a Phoenix healing and a self esteem coach who helps women to raise the phoenix in themselves to live a supremely empowered and dignified life with healthy self esteem and self confidence. She's a certified pranic healer, ICF certified transformational life coach, and a famous model. A single mother with a special child, she has unleashed her potential and raised the bars for women as a role model. Congratulations to her. And we now have a message by Ms. Kaur.
A big gratitude to Indian Achievers Forum, Atmanirbhar Bharat Awards. When I got the news that I have won the Women Achievers Award, IEF Women Achievers 2021, on my inspirational story, I was so happy. And I really can't believe it that I'll won this. And a big gratitude and a big thanks from my side, as because my story is something of a woman, of a middle class family woman who has raised herself from the ashes with her 100% special child. So my story is an inspiration to all the women who are suffering from indignity, disrespect, humiliation, toxic dependence. I moved out of my home all alone with my daughter. I left that home and I made my self-built life and self-made person. So this story is very inspirational. If you want to know more about me, you can reach me on my social media platforms. You can reach me on my website www.thewomanpowerunleashed.com, and you can be in touch with me. Once again, thank you Indian Achievers Forum, thank you Atmanirbhar Awards, thank you for giving me such a beautiful award, and I'm a proud Indian woman. Thank you so much. Take care.
I welcome all our panelists on board, Mr. KJ Alphonse, Member of Parliament and the former Union Minister. We have Mrs. Swaroop Rawal, actress and educator, Dr. Malini Ranganathan, Director of Indo-French Bindi NGO, Ms. Narinder Kaur, founder, the Women Power Unleashed. I welcome Mr. Gautam Mukherjee, MD and CEO of Spotify, Ms. Sri Vidya Popala, the CEO of Enscon's Business Process Consulting Services, Mrs. Rashi Sharma, the CEO of International Trainer and Therapist Soul Consciousness Lab, and the session is going to be moderated by Ms. Vatika Singh, Sub-Editor, Indian Achievers Forum. Once again, welcome to all our panelists. And as you can see, we have a diverse panel. With that, I hand over to Ms. Swatika Singh, the moderator for the proceedings of this session.
Hello everyone, we warmly welcome you all to the panel discussion of Atmanirbhar Bharat Awards with special emphasis on women empowerment. Since the rapid growth and development of the Indian economy has increased, the need for a common platform where all the sections of community can discuss the major issues of Indian economic growth. Indian Achievers Forum is the platform which engages in developing and sharing ideas, opinions, and knowledge on the key issues. An approach by Indian Achievers Forum that places emphasis on beneficiary participation will create awareness in all sectors and move towards developing stronger and more collaborative partnerships. As a matter of fact, Atmanirbhar Bharat is not possible without women empowerment. Women-led development will pave the way for self-reliant Bharat in real sense. Without any doubt, 50% of the population belongs to our women. The resilience, passion, and commitment for family, society, and country are shown at different periods from time to time. We are a land of customs, traditions, and values. It becomes the need of the hour, keeping in mind the global pandemic situation, to make women self reliant and empower them to unleash the best of their abilities. With this, we proceed with our panel discussion for today. We have Mr. KJ Alphonse, the Member of Parliament and former Union Minister. Mr. KJ Alphonse is an Indian civil servant, advocate, and politician from Kerala. He is the former Union Minister of State of Culture and Tourism in office since 3rd September 2017 to May 2019 under the BJP government of Narendra Modi. He is currently serving as a Rajya Sabha MP. Hello, sir.
Hello. Yeah.
Sir, I'd like you to put some light on the Atmanirbhar Bharat mission.
Well, I thought the whole thing was about Atmanirbhar Bharat mission as well as about empowerment of women. I think there is some fundamental problems here. If you want to link both these concepts, see, we need to really be more self-reliant, not in terms of what we thought in the 1950s with the famous Mahalanobis model, where we thought we could produce from everything from a safety pin to the atomic power stations. That is not the whole idea. I think we just need to be competitive, choose sectors in which we can be globally competitive, and we need to produce those things here. I mean, you'd be shocked because I was also Minister for Information Technology for a short while. We don't even produce a single chip. Can you believe this? You know, more than 30-40% of technicians and scientists working on globally on chips, production of chips, enhanced capacity chips, they are Indians. And many of the laboratories are in India, but we don't produce one single chip. I mean, take even for the automobile industry, because when China had a problem sending the automobile components to India, these small little processors, you know, our entire automobile industry came to a halt. The same way our entire electronic industry is so dependent on China and also on Taiwan, but mostly on China, which is extremely dangerous. But these are things which we could be producing in India itself, and I do not understand why we are not doing it. I think our industry finds it so easy to be importing it because it is cheaper, but in the long run, I think it's not good for the country. It's not good for the industry as well. Because if I just talk about patriotism, it's not going to work. I got to tell people why it is important for you to be producing these things in India. I mean, how come we are a global pharmacy of the world and still 80% of raw material, API for our pharmaceutical industry comes from China? I mean, it's crazy. So many of these sectors, we are so over-dependent on other countries, especially on China, which is not good for the security of the nation and not good for the industry either. Why is that we are not able to do these things? I understand that if you want to produce high capacity chips, we need, of course, huge investment. But these are areas in which the government must also put in money and say, okay, here is $10 billion for production of fab. And if something good comes out of it, fine. If it doesn't happen, well, let the money go. I mean, this is how countries put their money on key sectors. So I'm also extremely happy that this production linked incentives. to create a local industry which can produce a whole lot of things at competitive rates. We have come out with production-linked incentive schemes just in few sectors. There was no point in trying to putting it across to everything so that money doesn't reach anywhere. We are concentrating on few sectors like advanced batteries, solar systems, electronics, so some of these textiles, or some of these areas where we could really be globally competitive. Our exports mainly comprise of traditional items, and there's been a 70% drop during the corona period in the export of these items. So we just need to change our basket of exports, the basket of kind of things which are produced in this country, basket of dependency on other countries. I think all this needs to be done. Secondly, then we come to this whole issue of women empowerment. See, we all talk about it, but let me ask a very, very simple question. Do we empower our mothers, our sisters, our wives? Let me start with wives. How many of us empower our wives with real power? I know most men, they don't care about what happens in the office during a weekday, but on the final salary day, the man is waiting at the gate to receive the paycheck. Oh no, you don't know how to operate accounts. It's complicated, and therefore, no, let it be in my account. I think all this is nonsense. My only property which I have is a flat on Marine Drive, and I have another small little property in Delhi. And when we sold some properties in Bangalore, and I was buying this expensive flat in Cochin. I told my wife, it has to be in your name. She says, no, it has to be in joint name. I said, no way, it will be only in your name. Then she said, that leaves the properties in my name and not much in your name. I said, that doesn't matter. You have to be empowered. You have to feel that you possess things which are more important than I do. And I think even at home, I mean, how many of us put money, bulk of my money, actually my liquid cash is in my wife's account. I've never asked her in 40 years of our married life where she's ever gone. She's out most of the time. I never asked her where she goes. I've never ever checked her mobile number. I don't even have the key to that. I will never do that. I think we need to understand that the women are just not there as beautiful pieces to be admired, to be taken to parties. And then, I think this entire attitude has to change dramatically. Well, will Indian men change? I have a very serious doubt. I have extremely serious doubt, because I come from a state where the women are highly educated, a lot of them are working, but still all the slogging at home is done by the women, and very little credit goes to the women. You go to a party, and as you enter, you see the sudden division of people. The men are headed to the bar, and you will see them only at the end of the party. The women are headed to a corner where they talk about, I think, children's grades and things like that. I think India needs to empower. We need much more women chief executives. We need much more women on our boards, many more senior positions. But I think fundamentally it has to start from home, where the husband and the wife, and of course the father, the brothers and the sisters, truly believe that yes, we have equal terms. I think unless this kind of an attitude change comes, things are not going to happen. So that's for the introductory.
Okay, so next on the panel we have Mrs. Swaroop Rawal, who is an actor and an educator. Swaroop Rawal's chosen path is one of development and transformation for humanity. Her seva is not only confined to the walls of one classroom, but to the rural areas, where her scope for caring, compassion, and selfless service is unique. Swaroop Rawal has been awarded Doctor of Philosophy in Education and more recently a Doctor of Letters, both from University of Worcester, UK. Hello, ma'am.
Hello, and hello to all the participants here. I'm so glad to be here and, in conversation with all. So thank you, sir, for this lovely speech you gave before me, and I'm totally with you. I agree with you totally. What does it mean? What does women empowerment mean? Initially, it is thought of that, they should be able to earn and they should be educated. But I have found women that are educated and earning, they are not empowered. So what is empowerment and how would it come? One of the nice ideas I have and what I work in is life skills. So life skills are a large group of psychosocial interpersonal skills that help people make informed choices communicate effectively, develop coping and very important self-management skills. They'll help an individual lead a healthy and a productive life. I think it is life skills and enhanced life skills that really talk of empowerment. And all the work that I have been doing up till now is in working towards empowering the vulnerable and the marginalized. And it's worked fabulously, especially in Gujarat, where I have worked extensively. For example, there was this beautiful project which I had done with for 5,400 villages in Gujarat, touching 68,000 adolescent girls and boys. And these girls went and transformed their villages, and they transformed the lives of all their, so the villagers and the children they worked with and things like that. So I am for enhancing life skills because I think life skills is what is really empowering. For example, we keep on saying, give them a voice, give women a voice. But you know what? If you don't teach them to talk, there is really no point in giving them a voice. So my take is that empowerment is not only about a financial or economical, but it is even emotional. Women need to be emotionally and psychologically and socially empowered. And it is very important because if we are at least 50% of the population, India is not going to be empowered unless we empower the women. So this is my take on empowerment, and I'm sure we will continue the discussion and we will take it forward. Welcome to all the rest of you all.
Very aptly said, ma'am. Next on the panel, we have Ms. Malini Ranganathan, Director of Indo-French Bindi NGO. Dr. Malini Ranganathan has from 1983 created awareness of Indian cultural ethos and value systems, trained thousands of women in France in Indian fine and performing arts, and academically mentored them in international management systems. The first Indian lady from France conferred with the prestigious and highest distinction to an NRI, the Pravasi Bharatiya Samman Award by the Honorable Sri Ramnath Kovind in January 2019. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you for this introduction. I think it kind of resumes what I do in France. Yes, it's been almost 38 years that I moved to France. And as most Indians, I was not familiar with French. I thought my art will help me carry on and be able to communicate with people. But at one point, I needed the language also to explain. And so I started learning French and then ended up doing my doctorate in French. And today I teach in French. So this is my I would say, linguistic voyage to France. On the cultural side, yes, I have been performing. For me, performance was my initial mission and vision, and that led on to teaching because I have always been very attracted to transmitting my knowledge and sharing it with others. This took a new process because I had to do it with also learning the language. So it was like a permanent learning and teaching process, and that makes you realize how these challenges become a kind of interesting, I would say, doorways which open. Finally, you realize, and that is what I would like to tell other women, particularly men and women, but women particularly, is that we usually give up at the first initial obstacles. There are always obstacles in life. So I think if we could take these obstacles as probably a window or a door which is opening, probably we will have many more women having scope to prove their worth, because I think every woman has great talent. And as all of you rightly said, I particularly believe in developing the soft skills because women are known for that. Why not make the best of it? If I really appreciated how Swaroop said that it's good to give voice, but we need to teach them how to talk, and that's exactly what I'm doing also with Indian diaspora, so the kids coming from Indian diaspora, kids and women, and also the French, because you would be very surprised to realize that French also have some apprehension with speaking English or communicating with the rest of the world, because they have a different culture. So I think cultural differences should not seem to be an obstacle, which was my lesson that I learned, and I'm giving back to the society. So I founded this Indo-French non-profit association called Bindi, which is symbolic of all that India can represent, especially women. And I, of course, wear the Pravashi Bharatiya Samman award with righteous pride. I have developed several activities which are charity shows, etc. But particularly what I would say, I'd like to say a few words about Atmanirbhar concept, because it doesn't really concern me because I'm outside India, but I still thought I should be part of this mode, which is so comforting. So I know that you, as you all know also, that dance and music are much better learned in physical presence of the teacher or the guru. But during the pandemic, COVID pandemic, and forced temporary lockdown of all cultural institutions in France, I went online and tried to create a new mode of continuing to learn and teach. So this virtual mode, for me, my approach to Atmanirbharta concept was to respect our tradition of regular riyaz and practice, and continue to take care of the progress of the students' learning. And this has been very much appreciated because France respects India a lot. With Modi ji's concept of International Yoga Day, which I am a convener, and I've been successfully doing it in France every June. This has added more value to our ancestral heritage of sadhana, perfecting through practice. And the French have really appreciated it. And for me, that is my contribution towards the Atmanirbharta concept, because this is enhance the spirits which was low-lying when we had the COVID pandemic, and people could maintain uninterrupted physical exercise and keep to positive well-being. That is my concept, and I would like to just begin by saying that I think about talking about women empowerment. I have a lot to say, but I don't think it's the moment, probably because everybody has to take time to speak. I would like to just say that I have created protocols of teaching for different ages of girls and women, and different contents, teaching contents, as much as on my cultural side, which is dance, as much also on the protocol of teaching and the academic side, which was my doctorate. My doctorate was from the European University on didactics of educational sciences and creating protocols for higher education. So, and many of my students are women. So I think, which is commonly known, that enhancing the knowledge and educating boys was very important for a family. But today we must realize that educating a girl is educating the entire family. So she is going to go through the process of transmitting it to her kids, etc. So I think education is priority in all its forms, in all its the sectors, and develop confidence in our young women. So I give you back the mic. Thank you.
Next on the panel, we have Ms. Narinder Kaur, the founder of the Women Power Unleashed. Narinder Kaur is a transformation and women empowerment life coach that specializes in working with women that are to step into their latent power within. She envisions to unravel all the women power and develop an integrated community with women with voice. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you so much for the introduction, Vatika, and I'm really grateful to you and Atmanirbhar Awards as well. So the phoenix has risen from the ashes. Beyond fear, life is limitless. Woman is the strongest pillar on the earth. A successful woman is one who can build a firm foundation with the bricks others have thrown at her. This is about me. I'm the phoenix who has risen from the ashes. I have suffered from domestic violence, abusive relationship for last 15 years. I left my own home with my 100% special child, my angel, who's living with me and my daughter in a rented house. And I have unleashed my own powers. I have unleashed my potential to help millions of women in the globe to raise their self-esteem, to help women to raise the phoenix in themselves and live a supremely empowered and dignified life. And I'm called as a phoenix healing and self-esteem coach who helps women in this sector. And I'm AGM Corporate in India's leading pharmaceutical company, national president of culture and tourism sector at Wiki, certified pranic healer, motivational speaker, ICF certified transformational life coach, NLP practitioner, hot model India World 2020, a traveler, tracker, explorer, and a food lover. So I'm full in charge of my own journey because I have seen it all, ups and downs, all the roller coaster of my life. So after that, in 2019, when I was suffering from chickenpox, in 2019, I was hospitalized for 6 days by my parents, and the last day, my soul awakened me. Why are you suffering so much? You're not meant to suffer anymore here. You're not a woman to suffer. You have to raise yourself. You have to unleash your potential, and you have to get up and empower other women. And the 6th day, I got up in all that scars, and I didn't go back to my home. I took a rented home, stayed for some time in my parents' home, and then took my daughter along. And after that, every day I worked on myself. I gymmed, I meditated, I healed myself completely, and then came into power and taking the stories of soul awakening stories of women who were all around the world who have come from pain to power, and empowering global women, empowering Indian women all around to raise their self-esteem, to unleash their potential within because they have the power inside. We don't have to go outside to actually come out with the power. For me, women empowerment is women are actually at par with men in every aspect of life. Sacrifice, love, compassion defines her. Sometimes a mother, a daughter, and a stranger. So being a woman in this world is not easy. As a woman, our creativity and the inner power comes when we are truly feeling our and living our true emotions. But you have been trained since birth in this patriarchal society to turn down our volumes and velocity of our emotions. So we think about the last time when we had a big loud cry, but we are actually encouraged to restrict our true feelings, our true emotions, to confront to a culture that never understands nor appreciates the ever-changing inner life of an emotionally healthy woman. So when we are taught to disconnect with these feelings, then we get disconnected from everything. For me, a woman with a voice is a strong woman. You have the passport in yourself. You have the keys in your being, and it's up to you to unleash the potential. You have to believe in yourself, and you have that wild, audacious dreams. You never know you have that. Something all we need is a bit of guidance, a bit of teacher, a bit of a mentor, a woman of self-worth who has self-esteem is the one I love. Accept all your flaws, give a pat on your shoulder, and move ahead by loving yourself unconditionally. When you love and accept yourself for who you are, the world will recognize you. That's me. Thank you. And I would like to congratulate all the bodies here and Atmanirbhar for choosing me as a contestant. And thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Mrs. Kaur. And you have made us realize how strong a woman can be.